Welcome back to the village. Hey, I just got through getting my hair done, so I'm going to be turning all sideways. I was supposed to record this video on Thursday, but I got busy with the grandbabies and other things dealing with the foster care. Thursdays are going to be my testimony days that I do a testimony, whether it be about myself or I invite someone to join us. Thursday morning, I was going to, actually all week, I was like, okay, Thursday I'm going to record my testimony, but the testimony that I was planning on doing was basically about my health. But some things happened Wednesday or Thursday morning, I believe, who changed all of that. So I don't know if you guys watched my previous video about the 5 top people who have inspired me to become a foster parent. If you have not, please jump over there and go ahead and watch that. If you have, when I tell you this name, then you know what I'm talking about. So one of those 5 people that I've mentioned, she was from Porter Pearls. And what that is an online pearl party where they open up the oyster and they get a pearl out. La 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 la. Well, this lady inspired me, and I'm going to link her testimony down in the description because it's powerful, and it will tell you why she, she inspired me. Her testimony, I ran across her testimony. First, I ran across her page. I ran across her testimony, which brought me to her page. And so, basically, she wanted a child, and she and her husband were struggling with that, and long story short, she ended up adopting 2 girls, actually. The first little girl, her name is Porter, and that's where her testimony. I don't want to give her testimony away, so go ahead, jump over there and watch it, but that's what got me. Here's the thing. Let me start about 10 years ago, 12 years ago. My husband and I were dating, and I had a son, he had 3 girls, and we, have decided that we're not going, if in time comes that we get married, blah, blah, we didn't want any more kids. Cool. About a month before we got married, something happened, the conversation came up again, and I was like, hey, my husband was like, why don't we adopt? The adoption came up. And I was taken back by, why would he talk about adoption? Okay, that's cool. So I put it in the back of my mind. I didn't think about this in the back of my mind in sign language. Sorry. Keep it in your back of your mind. Anyways, long story short, I didn't really think about the adoption whole thing a lot. And I knew I didn't want any more biological kids. I already had my son. I'm cool. So, fast forward 2 years after we got married, I started getting this burning urge to have my own biological kids. I know women change their minds. We're allowed to do that. So anyways, I just started getting this burning urge to have kids. And I did tell my husband David that. And from that time, for 3 years, I was like, oh my God, I want a baby. And it wasn't happening. And at this time, I started having a lot of health issues. And so I got to a point after that 3rd year, at the end of that 3rd year, and me going in and out the hospital, and that's going to be another story, transfusion after transfusion. The first time I heard that I may not be able to have any biological children. That really crushed me, but I accepted it. And I told the Lord, if me not having any more biological kids were in your cards, then Lord, take away the desire, because it was too painful. Watching other people have kids, in and out. People have kids and don't even want kids. It hurt my heart to the core. And so I said, Lord, just take away the desire. All you have to do is take away the desire. I am good. If the answer is no, then let the answer be no. Because don't put a desire in my heart, because all our desires come from Him anyway. So God, don't put a desire in my heart if it's not your will, right? around this time. And so I went to the doctor this particular time, and that's when I was first told that I may not have any biological children. Cool, told the Lord that. And then the day that I went to the hospital, probably on a Friday, that Sunday we were having, that was a Wednesday. That Friday night we were having prayer, and we were having Harp Warrior service. If you don't know what that is, look it up. Christ Gospel Church, Harp Warriors. It's on YouTube, the music and all. And I'll do another video if you want. Put in the comments if you want me to explain more about that. Anyways, we were there at that service, and a lady came up to me, one of the sisters of the church. She came up to me not knowing what I've been through the last 3 years, what I went to at the hospital, at the doctor's appointment that Wednesday. She said, have you ever thought you and your husband, are y'all done having kids? Because God wants to bless you with one. That tore me, but at the same time, because I went from a doctor telling me I may not have any, and I told God, if I'm not going to have any, take the will away. And then this lady tells me this. So in my mind, I'm thinking this is the Lord's way of telling me, no, having a child is in my will. It's in my cards for you. So the desires are coming back, right? Half and half. And so I was like, okay. I didn't tell her anything. I was just like, okay, cool. But the crazy thing is the Lord told me that this particular lady was going to get up and tell me something and to listen to her. That's the crazy part. I knew that she was getting ready to tell me something because the Lord put it in me to, when she came up to me, believe it. Okay, so if you're not a person of faith or a prophecy or anything like that, this video is probably going to sound crazy, so you probably want to go ahead and click off. If not, go ahead and listen. So anyways, so that happens. A month goes by, and there's no change in my health. In fact, they still couldn't find a reason why my health was declining in all of this, right? And I'm still thinking in the back of my head, Lord, take the desire away. Why did you allow this lady to talk to me? Blase. So, fast forward probably about 6 months. I've probably working on my 20-something odd blood transfusion, right? So they can't figure out anything. The guy in the emergency room, one of the doctors in the emergency room, said, I can't believe you're back. You're too young to be dealing with all this. I want you to go see my friend. Long story short, I went to see a new doctor, changed nurses, changed doctors, whatever. I walk into this lady's office, and within 45 minutes, she finds out what I've been dealing with for the last 6-7 years that people could not figure out what was wrong. So I ended up having a huge mass on my in my stomach and in my ovaries, on top of my uterus, and it was anyways. So that's the problem. So the situation. So so she tells me to go over to the hospital and get a MRI in 2 weeks. So the 2 weeks I prayed. I read scriptures about faith, and I said, God, take this desire away, because now I have to have this surgery that they said that 90% or 50% or whatever chance of me having biological chance is not going to happen. So take this desire away. And I remember praying. I mean, like faithfully praying and asking God to take this desire, begging him to take this desire away, right? And so for me, it wouldn't go away. It didn't subside or anything. In fact, I was told another time by somebody totally different that the Lord's going to bless me with the baby. So I was really struggling. My faith was being tested. It was being tested, but it never failed. So let's just get that clear. My faith in God never failed. My love for him never failed. My faith was being tested wholeheartedly. My trust in God was being tested, and the lady from Port of Pearls, her testimony literally saved me in my darkest days. I remember I was just searching on YouTube of a miracle of, okay, this one had this surgery and still had a baby. I mean, faith, and her video passed by. And when I tell you, her video was as if I was watching my story. I cried and cried and cried and cried. I mean, like, bawled, you know. So, anyways, the day comes up where I go and get this test done, this MRI. And I remember sitting in the parking lot of Scott and White. I'm not going to cry. I remember sitting in the parking lot of Scott and White, the hospital, our local hospital, and praying. And I was telling God, I was reading scriptures back to God. And I was like, you said that if I have a faith of mustard seed, that things will work out, whatever, blase. To me, through this situation, I felt like my faith in God to heal me the way I wanted to be healed, the way I thought he was going to heal me, was grand. So I said, God, when I go in here for this MRI, this tumor is going to be gone, blah, blah, blah. Well, I go in, MRI, of course, the tumor's, not of course, because God can do anything, trust me. So the tumor's not gone. So I go back to my car, and it was as if my faith in God didn't fail. My love for him didn't fail. But I thought that his love for me failed. For things that I've done in my past, for maybe I didn't love him enough. Maybe I didn't trust him enough. I felt as if he didn't love me enough to take the desire away. He didn't love me enough to heal me. Excuse me, guys. Heal me. And it really broke me, because there's so many stories I could tell that I struggled with. I didn't have the best childhood. There's things that I've been through that people just shouldn't go through, that I keep quiet and keep it in, because I'm such a party person, happy person, that I don't allow people to see the raw me. So this is really hard to share. I struggled with God loving me. A lot of things that people told me while they were hurting me of God's love towards me ran through my mind. And so for the first time in my life, I felt God let me down. For the first time in my life, I felt as if God didn't truly love me. I never questioned his existence, because I know for a fact that he's real. But I sure did test that he loved me. And for the first time, I told him that he's broken my heart. For the first time, I felt let down by him so grand that I just felt numb. Now, maybe 15 years prior, I did say I never will worship him again. But even through that time, I've never felt that his love for me failed. But at that time, I felt alone. I felt that he didn't love me. I felt just, I don't know. So when I saw her video, Port of Pearls, I don't know her name, I'm sorry, it just went blank. I know her name, but blank. She saved me, and if she sees, I'm going to send this video to her, because I just want her to know that you restored, you renewed God's love for me. I know that he is not here where we can touch, and sometimes we need that human touch. Well, your video, although it wasn't like a human touch, I felt God's love just completely surround me through that video. And although it was your testimony, like I said, I felt God's love all the way through it, and saying, hey Shanta, I'm still here. I love you. And so, although I had to have that surgery, um, although I went through all the health situations, God was in it every step of the way, because I could be dead, literally dead. And like I said, I'm going to tell my testimony about my health. This was supposed to be the testimony about my health, but I guess God wanted me to do the testimony when my faith was touched before excuse me guys, hope you guys. So anyways, this is a video about, a vlog about when my faith was tested. It was tested, but it was never broken. And I just want to encourage you guys, whatever you feel God promised you, stick on that. My husband and I are doing foster care, and maybe all the children that people were seeing are these babies that I'm supposed to have. And Port of Pearls, I just want to encourage you, please start doing Port of Pearls again. You have saved lives. You have restored love, restored faith, and whew, and if you're struggling with your faith, and if you're struggling with your you feeling God's love, just know that He loves you. He's mindful of your desires. He's mindful of your heart. I cried in that car that day and said those things. I didn't feel your love, but I tell you, the video that her testimony, and just the love throughout my surgery, I have felt nothing but God's presence, nothing but God's love for me. And it may not have worked out the way I wanted to work out, which I thought it was going to work out, but it's worked out for my good. It has been just a journey that I am just proud to be on. And I have felt Him hold my hand throughout the whole part. And just know that when our hearts are broken, He's like a real earthly father. He was sad. He was crying right along with me, because he wanted me to see what He sees. He sees the end result. We only see the situation where it is right now. I know this is a long video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please share it, like, comment, join the family, because it's going to be a part 2 to this video. And go in, like I said, I'm going to put her video down and below. Go and show her some love. Find her on Facebook and just let her know. Tell her that Evans, I can't even think. Just tell her that I love her. She reached out. Oh, by the way, that's what made me change it. I was going to talk about my health, but she reached out to me, and she didn't know what that's done to my heart. Thank you again for reaching out. I'm going to call you tomorrow after church. I have some things to do with the babies today. And just know that I love you. Although we've never met, I feel like we're bonded by the godly sisters, the Father. So we're sisters in Christ. And I hope to meet you in person one day. Your testimony, your life, your story have touched my heart. And with that, I'm so glad I can share the journey to become foster to adopt parents with you and your husband and your family. Thank you for being a vessel of God. I totally appreciate it. And make sure you guys share this video. Yeah, love you guys. Bye.